People may want to ask how we did this and what makes us different than others. Sometimes we've had things just given to us through inspiration. Our personal development is still a lifelong, step-by-step process of our refinement. My father hit a home run with developing the science behind all the healing arts and all empowerment in the 70s. Everything we think, say, and do. That's why we prefer not to call this syncretism. Because not only have I just recently found out that the word even exists, but when I researched it, I quickly found out that the word has had a bad reputation for other, more destructive ways it's been done, for obvious reasons, without understanding the laws of empowerment. But integration is the gathering. Let's look at our past failures with much greater perspective, more love and understanding than ever before. Let's open up our hearts and minds, wise as serpents, harmless as doves, cautious not to let our hearts become hardened as we face our own fears. And yeah, syncretism can destroy dominant religions because people have proven to be capable of developing an infinite amount of versions, as we really are all our own person. Look at how many different Christian religions there are, with 1,000 different versions of Christianity alone, and consider how many lineages there are for everything else. Are you willing to accept God's formula? It's not my formula, but I think it's only possible with God's formula. We can also help create the kingdom of God on earth. There are so many ideas floating around, we must be very careful which versions we choose to go with. When we attempt to put the pieces together, when you come to each choice, how do you know for yourself? The laws of empowerment start with the basics, which are the real keys, the real gold nuggets. I share some personal examples of what I've been through myself at the risk of making myself vulnerable, and I don't want to push my own personal opinions on anybody, but I found that the history of our experiences is a powerful way to teach the actual principles. I've come up with some interesting insights along the way from my own personal thoughts and feelings to share why I think the way I do. And as far as some of my own personal spiritual experiences and views, feel free to take it with a grain of salt or whatever other seasoning you want to add. I encourage people not to grow too fast, especially with that, because if you're going to be uprooting from wherever you've come from into another way of thinking, you want to make sure you've got a strong foundation still. Maintain integrity, retain all of the great truth you've been taught, and honor that. We're not here to tell people to leave wherever they're at or draw people away from where they're at. I recommend that you stay where you are as long as you can. Stay with your lineage as long as you can. Continue to integrate truth right where you're at. If you really know you've found something better, that's your choice too. I've always remembered where I come from, to know what I've known, and I'll always cherish and respect the truths of the lineage I was raised in. I consider myself very blessed. I don't feel the need to start anything new as far as organized religion. I'd rather help everyone else grow from where they are too, supporting the good in their lineage as much as possible. It's easier if we just focus on the basic principles because you'll find they've been taught from the beginning of our recorded history. They just haven't been articulated the same way as they are in this program. We want to add as much clarity as possible. If we can help people to integrate the basic principles taught as the laws of empowerment, they can be used as a powerful tool to assist all of our personal efforts and every organization's collective efforts in what God has called the gathering. I don't worry so much about God's names in different languages because I believe that God understands all languages. So many churches have based themselves off of one single idea, and however disintegrated, it's sort of been a theme in human history here and there, like with the ancient Greeks, monotheism or polytheism. And even in our modern time, the whole Jehovah's Witnesses church started off with one idea that would set themselves above everyone else, as if they could find the original name of God and somehow show the rest of the world that they were wrong because they were all going by the wrong name. How childish can we be? Who are they to tell other languages that they were wrong? Really? It reminds me of preschool, but a lot of what's gone on reminds me of preschool. I thank the Jehovah's Witnesses for starting a trend in helping everyone see the value in the names of God. They may want to check out the Anabacoic too, which mystics say is the original 42-letter name of God. It is believed to contain the force of the miraculous and is certainly a very powerful miracle prayer from my experience. Over time, the Jehovah's Witnesses have gone further and further out of their way to separate themselves, and it seems they have not known when to quit, as they have gone out of their way to be different from everyone else. There is a point where this raises a big red flag of disintegration that just maybe they didn't have a solid foundation to begin with. But thanks to them, we've become much more aware of so many beautiful variations in God's name. And they've reminded us of the actual history of our several holidays, like Halloween and Christmas. We really do have a mixed up history. It's amazing we still have the culture we do. Thanks to the Jehovah's Witnesses, my mother told us as kids we couldn't go trick-or-treating anymore. Well, somehow that didn't stick. And at least we had a family tradition of singing happy birthday to Jesus every Christmas morning before we'd do anything else. I'm bringing this up now because I personally don't think we'll have the same system in the future as more and more truth is coming out. I don't even think we have the same system now